Hi, Steve Stenros, First Choice Inspections, with another inspection minute. I'm going to run through a pool inspection quickly here with you and touch some points on this pool. First of all, any pool accessible gates should be self-closing, self-latching. They should swing outward. You can see these gates swing inward. They need child-proof latches on them. And then as you come over to the pool, you have the intermediary enclosure or fencing around the pool itself. Again, these gates, these fence gates should swing outward. They should be self-closing. They need child-proof latches on them. So this fencing here does not meet these standards at all. Again, you have another in-swinging gate there that should be out-swinging as well. The fence itself, very, very loose and floppy, coming apart at some of the joints. Then any metal components within 5 feet of the water's edge should be electrically bonded. So the diving board jig needs to be bonded. Here we have a metal skimmer cover on there. That should be bonded. Then we have metal fence posts over here. They're within 5 feet of the pool edge. They should be bonded. As you come around over to this side here, we have metal windows, metal window screens, as well as a tin roof here within 5 feet of the pool edge. So all this metal should be bonded. And then here we have a light up on top of the roof edge, and that's within 5 feet of the pool right there. That needs to be at least 12 feet in height above the water, which it's not, so that's a shock hazard. And let's look at the pool itself. You can see down on the pool bottom we have some algae growth. Obviously this pool water has not been chemically balanced for quite some time. This was a bank-owned home. I'm not sure how long this pool has been filled and how long ago the water was put in here. But you can see here algae growth. Then on the pool steps we have some surface cracking at the edges. Some plaster pop-offs, not too bad though. And then the algae growth in those cracked areas. You can see there the algae's starting to grow in those areas. And then the bottom has some pretty good algae in places. You can see some etching in the plaster in areas along the edge of the pool. Over here we have a pool seat, and here we have the steel reinforcing is really starting to corrode. It's coming through the plaster. There's been another repair on the seat itself. That's a substandard repair. That's not going to last. Here we have tiles that have come off, and as we look closer here you can actually see the pool wall is cracked as well. Okay, so these are all areas of leakage. The grout line at the top of the tile that needs to be regrouted in numerous areas around the pool. Here we have loose coping. Two of the coping here are loose. Then let's look at the mastic sealant at the back edge of the coping, between the coping and the pool deck. You can see this is in a deteriorated state. There is no foam under this mastic sealant. It's just the dirt ground under there. That needs foam underneath the mastic sealant, and then have the mastic sealant reapplied. Otherwise, water is going to get in here between the pool wall and underneath the deck and really wreak havoc. As you look in the bottom of the pool, you can see the drain in the bottom of the pool there. And this is a flat cover that's on there. It's also damaged. It's missing one of the grills on it. This is an entrapment hazard, and this should be upgraded to meet current Virginia Graham-Baker standards. Then as we come over here, we can see we have the pool light. Of course, the pool light's not there though, so we need to get the light reinstalled. And then back here is the junction box for the pool light, and that's at least 4 feet from the water's edge, and it's 8 inches above the high water line, so this is good. However, the cover on the junction box is loose where water can enter, so we want to get the cover resealed on there. Make sure that's got a good rain tight seal. Then we have some more tile right here. You see we're missing more tile, popped loose. I want to show you something back here on the shallow end of the pool. When we look at the tile line back here, we have more horizontal cracking in the pool wall all along here. Okay, that needs to be taken care of. Otherwise, you're going to have water leakage there. In a lot of areas, this grout line at the top edge of the tile is cracked open. That needs maintenance, or you're going to have more tile damage there, water getting in there. And then let's go over and look at the pool equipment. This is a diatomaceous earth filter. It's a very old one, and it's also leaking pretty good. Here you can see it's really losing a lot of water. So the main gasket on there is leaking bad, but this filter really needs replacing. You can see it's really corroded here. Okay, so you're probably never going to get a good seal on this filter. And let's come back here, look at the water lines here. There's been some substandard plumbing done here. We're using rubber hose connectors here. They're going to not last at all. The sun is going to really deteriorate those. Then here we have some substandard PVC plumbing that was done. This joint here is leaking. Okay, then let's look at the pool pump and motor. It's a 1 horsepower pump, 1 horsepower motor, and these look newer. Here where the electrical conduit enters the motor housing, you can see it's pulled loose, the wiring is exposed. That's a shock hazard. Then here's your bond wire that's connected to the pump motor. This should go down in the ground and be connected to the steel grid around the pool. They just have this connected to this steel post that's been driven in the ground for the timer box. So that is not the same as being bonded. They more or less grounded the wire, but it needs to be bonded. It needs to be connected to the steel around the pool. And then as we look in the timer box, you can see the safety cover is missing. Should cover the wires. That's a shock hazard. And then even here you look at the intermediary fencing around the pool equipment area. This is only a 3-foot fence. Doesn't meet standards. Children can jump over that, fall in and drown. That's a safety hazard. So there are several things here. Then as we look over here at the pool deck and the deep end of the pool, this deck is lifted about an inch. So this is what happens when water gets in at that mastic sealant at the back edge of the coping there. Water gets in under the deck and it lifts up, and then you have a trip hazard there, and an area where water will always try to penetrate and get in under there. So I hope you've enjoyed this quick pool inspection, and we'll see you next time.